This video will cover all of the quiz question types available on Canvas. I already entered the quiz and clicked on the Questions tab. You see I have three options. I can create a new question, a question group, or find a question. I won't get into it in this video, but just know that Find Questions gives you the ability to import questions you've used in other quizzes. Let's go ahead and make one of each question type, and then I'll be able to show you how the question groups work. To create a question, I click on New Question. The name I give the question should make sense because if you want to use it in another quiz or in another course, you need to know what you're looking for. I'll call this one Training Matching. Now, before I show you how to make a multiple choice quiz question, let me show you all of our different quiz question options. We have multiple choice, true and false, fill in the blank, fill in multiple blanks, multiple answers, multiple drop-downs, matching, numerical answer, formula question, essay question, file upload question, and then text no question is basically a text filler that we can use. To make a multiple choice question, type your question in the Rich Content Editor, and then provide your possible answers down here in the bottom. Now, right now it says that the correct answer is blue. To change that to yellow, I put my mouse next to yellow and click on this green arrow. Now yellow is the correct answer. The next thing I'd like you to pay attention to are these feedback boxes. For each of these, A, B, C, and D, I can provide feedback. I can say, blue is incorrect. The correct answer is yellow. And I could do that for all of these. Also, there are generic feedback boxes down here. Green gets sent to everyone that gets it right. Red gets sent to everyone that gets it wrong. And this gray-blue color gives the comment to everyone. Make sure when you're done, you have the correct answer marked. Your question in the Rich Content Editor is correct. And then you click on Update Question. Next, let's make a true and false question. I click on New Question, select True False, and I'll title this one Training True False. And we type the question into the Rich Content Editor. Obviously the answer to this is false, so I need to click on this arrow. And again, we have the same feedback options here. When I'm done, I click Update Question. And now I have a matching and a true and false question. To make a fill-in-the-blank question, click New Question, select fill-in-the-blank from the drop-down menu, give it a name, and then type your question into the Rich Content Editor. And for fill-in-the-blank, you can just use an underscore. And then you have your possible answers down here. It just automatically put true and false in there because of the last question that I made. You can blank those out. And what you're doing here with a fill-in-the-blank question is you're telling Canvas all the possible words you would accept as a correct answer. So definitely the sky is typically blue. And maybe I'm not really that big on spelling, so I'll also accept BLU. And I would also accept azul, which is Spanish for blue. Again, just like the other questions, we have our feedback options. For now, I'm just going to update the question so that now we can make a multiple fill-in-the-blank question. I'll select multiple blanks, Again, give it a name. And now, with this type of question, you need to pay attention to how you're typing your question. So for my question, I'll use the sun is yellow and the moon is gray. Now that doesn't tell Canvas where the blanks need to go. To do that, I can put brackets around the words that I want to be blank. And now down here, I'm going to do the same thing I did with fill in the blank. For yellow, I will accept yellow and yellow without the W. I'm sorry, I don't know the Spanish word for yellow, so I'd have to look that up. And then I come to this drop-down menu and click on gray, and I'll accept gray with an A and gray with an E. Click on update question, and now I have a fill in the blank question and a multiple fill in the blank question. To create a multiple answers question, click on new question, select multiple answers, give it a name, ask your question, and then down here is where you'll put your possible answers. Some will be right, some will be wrong. And if I want to add another one, I can click on add another answer. And then what I need to do is I need to tell Canvas which of these is actually correct. So I click on the arrows next to those that are indeed found in a rainbow. Again, I have my feedback options here, and I hit update question. One thing to keep in mind, we have how many points this question is worth. With these multiple answer questions, Canvas will give partial credit. So if somebody were to click on blue and yellow but not red, they would get 2/3 of a point on their quiz. Next, let's create a multiple drop-down. And this will end up working very similar to a multiple fill in the blank. So just like we did with multiple fill in the blank, put brackets around your blanks. And then it turns into essentially a multiple choice question. So the sun is blank. And then the moon is blank. And select your correct answer. Provide your feedback if you'd like to, and then update the question. What those multiple drop-downs does is when you look at the quiz, the question will be there with drop-down menus instead of blanks. So it'll say the sun is drop-down menu and the moon is drop-down menu. And then those options that you selected will be in the drop-down menu. Matching questions are very easy to make. Just click on New Question, select Matching, give it a name, and then type your question here. And on the left, you'll have the animal. On the right, you'll have the matching sound. Not quite sure on the spelling of squeak there. Excuse me on that one. And I don't really feel like doing a fourth animal, so I'll just hit the trash can on that. Now, I know you may be concerned that it would be really easy to match dog with wolf, cat with meow, mouse with squeak if they're listed in that same order, but when Canvas presents the quiz to the student, it randomizes the order of the drop-down menus. You can also add possible distractors. So maybe I'll add a moo, cluck, and roar. And those three sounds will also be listed among woof, meow, and squeak. Click on Update Question when you're done, and you have a matching question. Numerical answer questions are able to be asked on a Canvas quiz. Click New Question, select Numerical Answer, and here you can either just type something simple like 4 plus 4 equals blank, or if you'd like to use the insert math equation to get any kind of special symbols, you can do that too. So again, I'll just type 4, click on the plus sign, 4 equals, and then insert the equation. And then my students know, okay, I need to answer this math question. The answers that I would accept would be either an exact answer, you can choose a range, different precision points. I'll just choose exact answer for this, 8, with error margin of 0 because this is such an easy question. And then I can actually get rid of these extra lines because my question is so easy. I would imagine you math professors out there will be able to come up with better examples that might be able to take advantage of those multiple lines, the precision, and the other options there. So you just click on Update Question, and when the students see the question, they'll get a little text box to type into, and hopefully they type 8 and then submit it. Now, formula questions are a little bit more complicated. Formula questions give you the opportunity to ask the same question to students using different variables. For example, I can type, if I have 30 apples, and then eat X, and remember I'm going to put X in brackets, just like we did with the fill in the blank questions. Apples, how many do I have left? The brackets around the X are what will allow me to make this work. When I click out of this text box, you'll see a big change below. Now I'm able to tell Canvas how to identify X so that students don't all get the same question. I'll change the minimum value of X to be 11 and the maximum to be 20. Decimal places don't matter for this example. And I can hit this recompute button to make sure that it is indeed figuring out, the minimum and maximum the way I'd like it to. The next step is to provide Canvas with a formula. Our question was, if I eat 30 apples and then eat X apples, how many do I have left? So the formula there is pretty simple. It's just 30 minus X. I click Save. And then down here, I need to tell Canvas how many different combinations or how many types of questions do I want them to ask. So if I have 8 students in the class and maybe I want the possibility of all 8 of them getting a different question, I'll type 8 here. And I don't want to allow any margin of error because this is such a simple question. I click Generate, and now it has 8 questions using the variable X and the final answer, and each of my students will get a different question that's evaluating the same formula. When you're finished, click on Update Question, and now we have both our numerical question and our formula question in our list. The last 3 question types are essay, file upload, and then text with no question. First, I'll add an essay question. And here, I just typed the question. and hit Update Question. One thing you might want to do with the essay question and the file upload question is those are the two question types that aren't graded by Canvas. They actually need you to grade them. So you might want to add some feedback here that says, I'll grade these as soon as possible, just to let your students know that you are aware that some work needs to be done on your part. Update question. And then for the file upload question, we'll do the exact same thing. And you just ask your question here and it provides the students with a file upload area. Again, same thing with the feedback. You'd probably want to say something along the lines of, I'll get to this within a week or so, just to let your students know what the time frame is. Update the question, and then the final item type is this text no question. And since this is the end of our quiz, maybe we want to say something like, great job on the quiz. I'll see you at class on Monday. So as you can see, the essay, file upload, and text with no question are very simple to do. To use the question group feature, you already have to have the questions created, and then click on New Question Group, give it a name. I'll just call this one 2-digit addition, and I'm going to pick 3 questions with 1 point per question. Now what I can do with that is I can drag these questions that I already created into the question group. And we'll just pretend that all of these questions are 2-digit addition questions. And what it'll do is I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions here. It will pick 3 of those 5 questions randomly to assign to each student. So, on a larger scale, if you had 100 questions in a group and had Canvas select 50 of those, and you only had 15 to 20 students, it's realistic to think that each one of those students would probably have a completely different set of questions. If they did have similar questions or common questions, they would at least be in different orders. So these question groups can be really useful for you, especially if you do have common questions that are looking all at the same skill. Now that we have all of our questions done and we have some of our questions put into a group, you're ready to save the quiz. Make sure that you hit save, or if you haven't published it, hit save and publish. And there are a couple of things outside of the quiz that I'd like to show you. The first is that if this is a timed quiz, or if I only give 1 try per quiz, and I have a student with a disability that requires an accommodation like extra time or extra attempts, I can click on Moderate this quiz, select my student, and click on the pencil next to his or her name, and then I can give extra attempts, or if this was a timed quiz, the option would be there to give extra time. You can do this on an individual basis, or you can select all of your students to grant extensions. You could do that either way. The other thing I'd like to show you quickly is a preview of our quiz. So this is exactly how it'll look for your students. This is our multiple choice question. Remember, the sky is typically blue. I'm going to misspell blue the way that we said we would accept it. The sun is yellow and the moon is, I'll say, black, because that'll be wrong. Which of these colors are found in the rainbow? I want to get just 2 of them right. 30 minus 14 is 16. We'll write an essay about the Civil War. And I'm not going to upload a file right now. Our matching, we'll say a cat squeaks and a mouse moos. And something must have happened here when I typed in my possible answers. I wonder if maybe I forgot to hit update question. So then I submit the quiz as a student. And this is what they would see afterwards. So you can see I got that one correct. This one's incorrect. It accepted blue, and it shows me what all it would have accepted. Now we can see here that there were 2 blanks. The question was worth 1 point, so I did get partial credit because I got I got half a point there. And same thing here, I got 2/3 of my point. And as you can see, it looks pretty straightforward. My 16 was correct. I do remember how to subtract. And that's what a quiz looks like for students. I'm hoping that this video was helpful for you. Hopefully you now understand how to make all of the different quiz question types. If you're watching this video as part of a playlist, please continue on through the end of the playlist. And also please take a look at our training course available at my.wilson.edu/Canvas.